It's all about the you.
That's right.
That's right?
Even
It's all
now.
about the
Even now. I don't care what nobody say, even now.
So what does being a Miami football player give you that you can't experience at any other school?
Community. There's a community of just greatness. Michael Irvin, having his phone number, being able to communicate with him. Ed Reed, Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson, Ray Lewis, all these people who will sacrifice and give to you to help you develop to be the best you can be. It's a special fraternity. And I know other schools have great players, you go into school that has, some great players, but it's a little different in Miami,
Sure.
They got a different kind of swagger, different kind of, something about us, and I think that we take pride in helping the person that comes after us, and I think that's most important. We haven't won a championship in a long time, and, we haven't been consistently a dominant team like we used to be. You still see a lot of players coming to the NFL and have great, careers, and I think most of that is because of that, that tradition of helping the young guys.
And when you were one of those young guys walking around campus, backpack on, you might have been bigger than a lot of freshmen, but what was the moment that it hit you? Okay, I made the right choice. This is my home.
Honestly, even before I went there, I took an unofficial visit, and I just remember it was in the summertime, and you seen these all-pros, future Hall of Famers working out, and just like, wow. And I just seeing them do the workout and walking by and then seeing they look like me, like I can do this. And then going there my first time and doing that same workout those guys are doing and killing the workout and feeling like, man, it's the same workout the NFL guys is doing,
Yeah.
and I just murdered it,
Yeah.
I feel like the first time I really felt like, man, I could have a great career doing football, at Miami. It was like, man, this is a great choice. About halfway through in my first year, Michael Irvin came, the first game of the season, he came and talked to us, and I'm just thinking, this is Michael Irvin right here.
Standing right in front of you.
Florida State, and he comes in and gives us a pep talk, and it's just like, man, wow, but it was just like that feel of, this is a special place. You got a special feeling here.
Was there anything as you made the jump from college to pro that you hadn't accomplished? Was there anything you felt you left on the table that was then motivation as you went to the draft?
I'm going to year 12 now, or just finished year 12. I'm going to year 13 now. Phew, time flies. And you think back to being like a rookie, and things that kind of you had goals. I wanted to win a championship at Miami. I didn't get a chance to win a championship. I came in right after the championship was last one. Well, I actually committed right after we lost to Ohio State in the championship in 2002. And then I came in 2004, and that team finished, I think, third in the country. And then we were ranked number 2, but I never finished any higher than I think 6 or something like that. But it's a team sport, and you ain't gonna win every game. But we were a good team early on, and kind of went downhill, during my era. That's something that always sucks. People always give me a hard time. It's
Sure.
like, man, you're the start of this band stuff, and it's like, well, I'm still a beast. You can say what you want, but one of the things that I always wanted to do was become a first-round pick. And I felt like there was a rich history of first-round picks from Miami. And I had a bad combine because I left school early. I was a redshirt junior, decided to leave school. And I really believe if I left as a redshirt sophomore, I probably would have been a top pick because I was still young enough where I would have just worked really hard. And then I decided to come back to school, and everybody's giving me so much love that I kind of relaxed a little bit. I was like, almost like I already had made it, And that relaxing kind of messed me up a little bit, and I ended up falling in the draft because I had a bad combine. But it was a good thing for me because it humbled me and it got me right back to that same, the same mentality that got me to where I was, and that was that grind. The formula is simple. One of the things about Miami also, other than community, is we know how to work hard. Work hard, play hard, but guys are gonna party, have a good time because it's University of Miami. That's what's gonna happen. But we're gonna put that work in. When we go out there in that field, it's 100 miles per hour, hair on fire. Go as hard as I can go. I got back to that mentality. That's why I've been to a few Pro Bowls. I got 5 under my belt. Playing 12 years in the league, it's because of that grind. It's simple. I learned it in college.
When you came back for that redshirt junior year, you felt you might have taken a step back mentally from a drive standpoint. So what was that day one OTAs like? That had to be a humbling experience, I'm sure.
Yeah, because you go from being the man to now I'm a backup again. I gotta earn my spot again. We don't complain. We roll our sleeves up and get to work. So it was just like, all right, where you need me, coach? I'm ready to play. Put me where you need me. I'm gonna do my best. we're gonna make it happen. And I honestly was playing out of position. I went from playing a 4-3 DN in college to having to play a 3-4 DN in the interior, for the first time in my life. And I'm like, oh, it's a little different in here, and I was a little light too, so I had to put some weight on. But I just wanted to play, so I put a little weight on and earned the starting job my second year, and never looked back. But then I got a chance at free agency finally to go to a 4-3 team. And I told everybody that would listen, that I'm gonna be great in a 4-3 if you give me opportunity. But they wouldn't give me opportunity. And then finally, I signed with Jacksonville, and I went into the 4-3 system and had the best 3 years of my career.
The game has changed so much. You're going on your 13th year now. What advice would you give a rookie D tackle or defensive end right now to prepare for this league that is very different than when you first started?
I mean, most of my advice is usually off the field stuff, taking care of your paper, learning how to take care of your body, all the different resources that are available to you as far as just treatment, and like I always say, do prehab so you ain't got to do rehab. But on the field, it's the same game you played since you was a kid. The game hasn't changed. I was 6 years old. The ball was, the game was see ball, get ball, and get to the quarterback before he throws it. That's the game.
As simple as possible.
Yeah. Now, obviously there's a lot of techniques and stuff that you have to develop as you get older, because when you were young, it was really just run around and go get somebody. Now you have techniques, but that's simple. People overdo the techniques sometimes. Yeah, you want to use the techniques, but at the end of the day, get the ball. Get the guy with the ball, get him on the ground, pull it off if you can. All the techniques are just helping you get there faster.
It seems now that a position like D tackle, DN, maybe even linebacker, seems like defensive front seven guys are household names, whereas in the past it was just the receivers and the quarterbacks that people knew. But fans know as much about you as they do about Tom Brady now. What has changed over the years?
Well, social media plays a big role in that. As a D lineman, and especially before the pre-social media era and now the post in our current social media era, you really had to get marketed by your team for you to get some exposure. Now, it's really who markets themselves the best. As an athlete, you have to take it upon yourself. Some people hire people, publicists, brand managers, and they really invest in their brand, and you should, because you can make so much more money playing football than do anything else. But if you can make extra, money off the field because of your brand, or instead of life after football because of your brand, then do it, as long as you don't get in the way of you playing football. So it's a balance, because I do get frustrated with some young guys that are worried about their brand a little too much. And it's like, worry about you playing football. The best way to build your brand is the ball on Sundays.
Sure.
You can be all great on social media and you ain't playing well, nobody cares, But if you play well, and and you give yourself like just a realness to the world, through social media, be authentic, you'll be all right. The rest of it take care of itself. So just play ball, be yourself, and it'll come natural to you.
Speaking of those young guys, if you took a D end or a D tackle who has had tremendous success in year 2, year 3, and another one who, out there on special teams, still grinding away, what's the difference between a D lineman who has immediate success and one who still has work to do?
Margins between talent and NFL is very small. It's not very big. There's some guys who you could just tell, they got raw athleticism. They just can move and do things that other people can't do. But you see a lot of guys who, the guy who they say is not an athlete can still do some incredible things. It's
damage still, yeah.
That guy's a pretty good athlete too, When it comes down to it is people who really work on their craft. Because, there's God-given differences. Some people are just going to be a little faster, some people a little taller, a little stronger. But really, I feel like people who find the most success are the guys who grind the hardest. I got the pleasure of playing around some really, really incredible players like Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald and Adrian Wilson and Darnell Dockett. And
that's some names right there.
These guys, when I was young, they had that grind. Edgerrin James too was a part of that. And it was like you saw that these guys are all super talented, but they also work really, really hard. And take Kurt Warner, because he was that guy that they said that physically couldn't really do it early in his career. And then, he just developed an insane work ethic, and then he became a Hall of Famer. Athleticism matters, and but at the end of the day, it's who's willing to grind the hardest. That's what makes you great. Put the work in, develop your craft, and then don't take no for an answer. Go out there and prove it over and over again, each and every play. The problem is you get a little success and guys relax. Same way I did when I was young. It's natural. But then you gotta have that mental toughness to be like, all right back to work. Never satisfied, never relax. Early in my career, I was a really good player, but I wasn't a Pro Bowler. And I had to, develop that that grind to the level I have now. You know, my grind today is I don't want nobody outworking me. I want to know what Aaron Donald's doing. I want to know what J.J. Watt's doing, and I want to make sure that my workouts are just as hard, if not harder. And I think that really has paid dividends in my career.
The NFL as a whole has changed a lot, but so has college football. The transfer portal is new in regards to your college experience. So
yeah.
When you look at the transfer portal, when you look at guys going all over the place, when you look at how much change there is it selfishness? Is it doing what's best for them? Where do you stand?
I think that, take Joe Burrow. If he stayed at Ohio State, he probably wouldn't have seen the field. And then now he's about to be the number 1 overall pick. I mean, you can't call that selfish. He has to make a choice. Now, I'm a firm believer in like loyalty and, when you commit to something, and following through. But at the same time, like, you only get so many opportunities and you got to take advantage of them. And so, you got to make strategic decisions that are going to benefit you. So it's not just a one answer. It's no yes or no, it's right or wrong. It's situational.